Good evening. My name is Jolie Zygulski, and I'm here to present my instructional intervention project for your consideration. As you are aware, here at the METC, our mission is to provide world-class enlisted medical training to support mission readiness in peacetime and war. In order to accomplish this mission, our instructional systems specialists and curriculum designers should be able to produce products that are standardized with little to no errors that would have the potential to distract the students from learning and create longer turnarounds when the internal and external partners are reviewing our documents through the staffing review process. The instructional goals for the target population for this project are to standardize curriculum documents and standardize the process and procedures for curriculum. The organizational goals is to design curriculum to support all enlisted medical training. In order to reach the desired outcomes, there are some objectives that need to be met. By meeting these objectives, the learners should be able to develop updated and standardized templates for the curriculum documents, such as the curriculum plan, program correlation sheet, reference and equipment lists, and cover memos or additional documents as required. They should be able to develop updated and standardized templates for the lesson plans and PowerPoints as well. There are processes and procedures which designate the workflow for new and updated curriculum that require the above documents. So the standard operating procedures or SOPs and administrative instructions or AIs that outline these processes and procedures will be updated and standardized in tandem. Ultimately, by accomplishing these goals, the curriculum being designed in a standardized method will support all enlisted medical training. One of the underlying factors for some of these issues is the ISS teams not being unified because they are in separate locations and their supervisors have very different leadership styles. If there is a possibility of providing leadership with the data to support combining the two teams into one and under one supervisor, this would be a step in the right direction for all involved and improve the noted communication issues that often leads to the performance gaps being observed. Due to the lack of an authoring tool, the ISSs are having to produce documents such as lesson plans, student guides, and multimedia items, as well as course documents as the ones previously mentioned. Curriculum plans, program correlation sheets, reference and equipment lists, cover memos, and notional programs of instruction, while using Microsoft Office products. And even though there are some templates established, there is still a lack of standardization. Through the process of reviewing documents the ISSs are producing, there is a clear lack of abilities with some of them. And knowing the amount of times some of them have asked me to show them how to fix something on their documents, there seems to be a lack of confidence, even from our seasoned ISSs. The learners themselves in the organization have varying characteristics. Within the current population of the target audience, their learner-related characteristics all have prerequisite knowledge, skills, and attitudes, some more than others, and there is a mixture of individuals with other learner-related characteristics, notably age and personality. Even though all of the learners from the organization are civilian, one unique characteristic they all have is a previously learned attitude prerequisite characteristic. All of them have served in the military. They all have had to adhere to basic employability skills such as dress and appearance, punctuality, interpersonal relationships at work, and following organizational policies and procedures. Unfortunately, not all of them have maintained proficiencies with each of the above-mentioned skills, so it is the hope of this training that they will be refreshing their memory while also providing additional skills needed to be proficient at their job. Non-instructional interventions are an important part of this project, especially since it is being developed for professionals and how they work in the curriculum development field. The learners for this project should be provided continuous feedback. The goal is to either encourage them to continue doing what they are doing well or make some changes because their current practices are proving unsuccessful with the required work practices. Considering the current ops tempo of this organization, feedback, especially if we can restructure, will prove to be extremely important. The current personnel under the higher level leadership previously have not been held to the standards that are commensurate with their pay grade and their supposed level of education and work history in this field. If the feedback and the interventions are successful, then validating that success on their annual appraisals have just closed. Annual appraisal may have a positive effect on how they proceed to perform in the future. Incidentally, their annual appraisals have just closed out, so this is the opportune time to establish expectations for the coming year. Since this project is planning for an October implementation, which is the time when their midterm feedbacks are due, there will be substantial data to provide constructive input during their feedback sessions. Through observation of the last year, there are clear delineations of personnel who possess the knowledge and skills to provide valuable insight to this learner intervention and can assist with the execution. By using the employee selection practice, they can be recruited to either assist before or during the implementation is to take place. Instructional interventions will be done by a synchronous learning platform through the use of in-person instruction and Microsoft Teams. The Academic Support Branch ISS Teams will be provided instruction through this course project in Microsoft Office document editing and usage. They will work on Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint to assist in the development of curriculum package document templates that will be used to develop the METC curriculum packages and instructional materials that will be used to deliver instruction to the military trainees to learn and master the tasks required to perform their military jobs. By delivering the instruction through an in-person option or through the use of Microsoft Teams, it provides an opportunity to encourage group interaction, hopefully eliminating the communication barrier that is currently a major issue with our organization. In order to deliver the instruction, the learning materials will be developed using the authoring tools available to us, mainly the Learning Management System Sakai that will house the instructional material, Microsoft Office and Adobe for the assessments as needed, and PowerPoint to develop the slides for the didactic portion of the training. The learners will also have the opportunity to access the content post-training in order to use it as a self-help option. The content will be stored on the LMS and the ISS network drive as a resource they can go back to at any time. There are existing issues that have ultimately led to the need for this training. Over the last couple of years, it has been documented that there are numerous versions of the same documents that are circulating, which causes added review times and redirection of the documents for correction. These documents, especially the instructional material, creates negative feedback from the military trainees on their end-of-course surveys. Because there is not an authoring tool, the ISSs have to hand jam the content into Microsoft products that have man-made templates. Through the use of a survey similar to the one provided, we will be able to assess how the training fared and what areas of concern need to be addressed for improvement or redesign. Because the organization consists of multiple divisions and branches within, any changes or recommendations must go through a review process. Recently, there was a major change to the required documents in our curriculum package that had to be reviewed and approved by both the METC and the participating services, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard leadership. In order to recommend the change, a white paper and a talking paper were constructed to identify the problem, purpose, background, and recommendations for change. This will be the best course of action within this type of organization because more than just target learners need to be involved in the process. If needed, a presentation will also be developed outlining the processes and procedures that were conducted for presentation to higher leadership. There are some milestones that need to be met. Kickoff meeting occurs. With this project, the kickoff meeting will be very brief, considering this project has been on the back burner for a long time, and most of the discussions have already been done to determine this is a need. The project plan has been created. The project plan has been created and outlined in the talking paper presented to leadership. The course outline is written. The course outline consists of 3 units covering updated templates for curriculum documents and instructional material, updating processes and procedures. All of this will also be done by instructing learners on the Microsoft Office products and how to navigate them. Content is collected. All content has been collected because this project has been in the works for a very long time. Course prototype is reviewed. A prototype will be designed and reviewed by leadership to ensure all content satisfy the need of the project. Multimedia assets are produced. The LMS is already in existence and multimedia assets are on hand for utilization. Scheduling of classroom space with a podium will be the only item required for this milestone. The course is developed. By using free software and utilizing the current templates that will need to be updated, all items for the course development is available. It will be developed in accordance to the METSI's course development standards. Issues are addressed. Any issues revealed during the review from leadership will be rectified prior to implementation. Final delivery occurs. The course will be delivered to the ISSs over a 1-month period. The 3 units will be scheduled to be conducting once a week for 4 weeks. If the course can be done in 3 weeks, this will give us an extra week to hammer out any issues that may occur. And lastly, project brief occurs. After the project completion, the project team will conduct a debrief with leadership and 2 to 4 ISSs attending the training to gather input and use as needed for improvements or changes. There are specific processes and procedures our ISSs must demonstrate knowledge and skills of. Within those processes and procedures, there are workflows with milestones that must be met to meet specific timelines. By collecting data on meeting those timelines and milestones, data can be collected and presented in an analysis on the level of impact the learning has accomplished. An added benefit to leadership is the results that can be used as input on the personnel's appraisals and whether or not they are meeting their SMART goals. There will be times when delays are out of the individual's control, and those will be recorded and analyzed to determine if the contributing factor is external to the branch or division. In order to measure learner satisfaction, a survey similar to the one found previously in slide 7 will be used. Our learners are very familiar with this form of survey because they get one after every computer-based training they are required to complete on an annual basis. That was level 1 of the evaluation plan. Level 2, through the use of scenario-based questions that require the learner to complete a task on the source material, will ascertain knowledge or skill acquisition. Level 3, considering everything they are learning during the learning intervention is part of their everyday duties, it will be easy to evaluate whether they are applying it at the level they were taught. And lastly, level 4. As stated previously, there are specific processes and procedures our ISSs must demonstrate knowledge and skills of. That information will be used to determine if a difference has been made. The timeline is as follows. During the planning phase, May 1st to the 31st. We will continue with discussion of the existing issues that ultimately lead to the need for this training. During the analysis phase, June 1st through June 30th, a thorough examination of the existing documents will be done to find where the problem lies and what needs to be improved. At the same time, a deep dive into the personnel and their previous performance will be conducted to determine their strengths and weaknesses. During the design and development stage, July 1st through July 31st, the project manager and team members they recruit will design all instructional and assessment material. From September 1st through September 30th, during the implementation phase, all instruction will be delivered to the ISSs. The flow of instruction is provided in the bottom left graphic. And lastly, the evaluation stage, October 1st through 31st. After the implementation has occurred, the evaluation stage will begin, and a new analysis to assess the learner's performance will be conducted to determine their new strengths and weaknesses as applicable. After this has been done, this provides the data needed to develop specific working groups amongst the ISS teams or team restructuring, or team if restructuring is done and the two teams have been consolidated. This concludes my presentation. I appreciate your attendance for this presentation and welcome any comments or feedbacks to the scope of this project. At this time, are there any questions? Thank you and have a wonderful day.